Omo, this one no be small story o. Make you relax, because this movie go carry you go where you no expect. This story is set in the 1970s, and right from the beginning, tension don already full ground. We see one orange car speeding like say something serious dey happen. Suddenly, the car stops in front of one isolated house guarded by soldiers. The driver rushes out, carrying his young daughter in his arms. The girl don faint, body weak. He runs towards the house, begging for help. "Please, my daughter needs water." But the soldiers, dem no wan hear word. One even ready to shoot. Just when everything almost goes wrong, one young, beautiful lady steps in. She stops the soldier and orders them to let the man in. Omo, from the way she talks, you go know say she no be small person. They carry the little girl inside the house, quiet, eerie environment, straight to a room at the back. The man keeps begging for water, and the lady quickly goes to get it. Meanwhile, the soldier is already suspicious. "Where are you going?" he asks. But the man avoids the question completely. Something no clear. When the lady returns, she even sends the soldier away to get a hand fan. At least, small relief. Then the man finally explains. His daughter has something called green fever. According to him, it's worse than cancer. At this point, the soldier is not smiling anymore. He insists they should leave immediately before their boss returns. But the lady, out of pity, allows them to stay a little longer. Because according to her, the colonel isn't coming back that day. Big mistake. Because next thing, the colonel shows up. Wahala. The man quickly introduces himself as Kumi Brightwitz, an architect. But before anything, the colonel sends his ADC to bring him in for questioning. Omo, you can already see fear written all over Kumi's face. Inside the office, the questioning begins. Kumi tries to explain. "My daughter fainted. I was just passing through." But the colonel isn't buying it. First red flag. Nobody uses that road. So why did Kumi take it? He claims it's a shortcut, but to the colonel, that sounds even more suspicious. The tension rises. The colonel orders a full search, his body, the room, even the car. At this point, Kumi is sweating. His story is starting to fall apart. Then another question comes. Why is his hospital in Oyo and not Lagos? Kumi starts stuttering, trying to cover up with another excuse about a doctor friend. Omo, this man is clearly hiding something. Then suddenly, the phone rings. As the colonel turns to answer the call, Kumi tries to quietly escape. Bad move. Try that again and you'll be shot dead. At this point, you realize something very important. This man didn't just enter any house. He entered the wrong house at the wrong time. Then the colonel switches on the radio. And boom, something serious is happening in the country. Now everything starts to make sense. This is no longer just about a sick child. Omo, na here the story begin get serious meaning. So, outside the house, Nigeria don hot. The military is planning a coup. Dem wan take over the government. And guess what? Colonel Bashiru, he's one of the main players. Because of this, nationwide curfew don enter. Everybody must stay indoors. No movement, no excuse. Now the call wey Bashiru received earlier, it's from Colonel Okoli. He's calling to confirm if Bashiru has delivered some money. Money wey go help push the coup forward. Then Bashiru asks, "How much?" The reply, 5 million. Omo, 5 million in the 1970s. That's like billions in today's money. This is not small play. This is serious operation. Even Bashiru shock. But Okoli insists, no argument, deliver the money. Before ending the call, Bashiru asks one strange question. "Have you heard of something called green fever?" And the reply, "No, I only know yellow fever." So that means one thing. Kumi might be lying. Immediately, suspicion don rise. Bashiru carries his gun straight to the room to confirm things himself. He sees the girl lying there, weak and quiet. At least she looks sick. So he allows Kumi to go back to her. But immediately Kumi enters, the daughter whispers something scary. "Daddy, one man came in and searched everywhere." Omo, fear don't enter. The girl is terrified and begs, "Please, let's go." But Kumi knows better. Stepping outside now is even more dangerous. At this point, they are trapped. Inside the house, danger. Outside, even bigger danger. Then Bashiru calls Kumi to wait in the living room. Suddenly, a loud scream echoes through the house. Not normal scream, the kind that makes your heart skip. Like someone is being tortured, or something just went terribly wrong. Kumi steps out to check and meets Matilda. But instead of explaining anything, she's acting strangely calm. She just says, "Do you have Panadol or something? I have a terrible headache." Person scream finish. You dey ask for headache medicine. Omo, something is definitely not right in this house. At this point, you just know, say, this is no longer about a sick child or a simple stop for help. Everybody here is hiding something. Omo, this house just dey get darker by the minute. So Kumi continues his quiet investigation inside the house, trying not to raise suspicion. But at the same time, Matilda and everything around her is getting more and more confusing. The colonel is clearly not in a good mood. After all the questioning, he still doesn't fully trust Kumi, so he pushes further, asking about his background, his school, even the projects he has worked on. But Kumi no dey shake. He answers everything perfectly, like someone who has prepared for this moment his whole life. Even mentions he worked on major government projects, including renovation of the High Court. At this point, the colonel is still watching him closely, trying to catch one mistake. Then he gives Kumi one final test. "Look at this house," he says. "Tell me what you think." Omo, big mistake, because Kumi no hold back at all. He starts breaking the house down like professional critic. He calls it outdated, poorly designed, a copied British structure that makes no sense for Nigerian weather. Even says the interior choices no get value at all. The colonel's face changes immediately. You fit see say ego don't touch am. Then Kumi adds something else, mentioning items in the room that were supposedly given by your wife. But the colonel quickly corrects him. "She is not my wife." Wait, what? So who exactly is Matilda? Before we even process that, the tension shifts again. The colonel angrily tells Kumi to bring his portfolio from the car so he can verify everything once and for all. As Kumi walks out carefully, trying not to trigger any suspicion, the colonel opens one of the briefcases. And boom, bundles of cash. Omo, big money. This na the same money meant for the secret coup operation. So now everything is connected. Meanwhile, Kumi quickly goes to his car, grabs his portfolio, and returns like nothing is wrong. He even shows his business card again, trying to maintain his cover. Then the colonel makes a critical move. He calls someone in the Ministry of War named Felicia. He instructs her to verify Kumi's identity immediately. Is he really an architect, or is he lying? While the call is ongoing, Kumi is standing there silently, but inside him, fear don't rise small. Because at this point, one wrong detail and everything is over. Then suddenly, the colonel notices something again. Matilda is still awake. He gets angry immediately and orders her back to bed. But as she walks away slowly, something feels off, like she has heard too much already. Then the phone rings again, and this time, everything is about to be exposed. Omo, at this point, everything done already enter one serious level. So the colonel picks the phone again, and this time, na Colonel Okoli they call. Okoli is checking updates about their coup plan, and Bashiru calmly replies, "Yes, it is done." Omo, lie don't enter. Okoli immediately relaxes. Finally, the money has been paid and their plan can move forward. But instead of ending the call, Okoli starts small talk. He even asks about Matilda, joking if she's sweet and if everything is going well in the house. Then Bashiru casually drops another bomb. There is also a man here. He says his name is Kumi Braithwaite. Immediately, silence on the other side. Okoli changes tone sharp. Which man? And when Bashiru explains that Kumi's car broke down and he allowed him in, Okoli explodes. Are you mad? At this stage of the operation, you let a stranger into your house? He immediately warns him. The president already suspects a coup. Spies are everywhere. Then comes the order. Kill him. No questions. Kill him and the child too. Omo, no hesitation, no mercy. Just pure political paranoia. Bashiru agrees and ends the call. But now his mind is not stable again. He carries the briefcases and walks slowly back, clearly thinking, could Kumi actually be a spy? Meanwhile, Kumi is also moving carefully, holding the broken record, thinking about Matilda and everything happening in this strange house. The colonel takes the money and hides it in the closet inside Matilda's room. Then he turns to her again, asking questions. Did Kumi ask you anything? Did he say anything strange? Matilda says no. She didn't notice anything unusual. The colonel finally tells her to go and cook something. But now, everything has changed. He is no longer fully trusting Kumi. And at the same time, he still hasn't confirmed if Felicia has verified his identity. Back in the living room, the colonel returns to Kumi. They talk casually again, paintings, house design, architecture, like nothing is happening. But underneath it all, tension is boiling. Then suddenly, the colonel makes a decision. He invites Kumi into his chambers. Omo, chambers? And remember, Okoli has already given one clear instruction. Kill him. Kumi immediately senses danger. He doesn't want to move because from inside that room, strange noises have been coming. Something is definitely wrong there, but the colonel is not smiling anymore. He pulls out his gun slightly and says coldly, I beg, move.
Omo, at this point, this house no be normal house again oh.
So Colonel drags Kumi straight into the chamber, and what he sees there almost makes his heart stop. Inside the room, there is a man tied to a chair, completely tortured. Omo, this one no be ordinary beating oh. The man has been mutilated, badly injured, barely alive. Even his tongue has been removed. This is not just violence. This is punishment. The colonel casually explains that this is his house manager, Chinasa. According to him, Chinasa has been stealing from him gold, money, sapphire, everything. And the colonel? He decided to handle it himself. He even boasts that he was trained to torture people until they confess. But the shocking part? Chinasa still never confessed. So in anger, the colonel goes further. And before anyone can even process what is happening, Chinasa suddenly grabs Kumi. But that moment doesn't last. The colonel instantly drags him down and finishes him brutally. Omo, Kumi is now standing in front of pure madness. Then the colonel turns to him with cold eyes. Who are you? Why are you really in my house? Kumi is shaking at this point, but he manages to respond. My daughter, she is sick. That's why I'm here. But the colonel is not convinced. Lies, he replies immediately. At this point, Kumi knows any wrong word equals death, so he doubles down. I swear, I'm not a spy. If you don't believe me, just shoot me. Silence. That statement somehow works. The colonel stares at him for a moment, then finally drops his gun slightly. And just like that, he tells Kumi to leave. No explanation, no apology, nothing. Kumi doesn't waste a second. He rushes out of that chamber like somebody chasing his life. Because honestly, he just escaped death. Outside, he finally returns to his daughter, exhausted, confused, and shaken. Meanwhile, the ADC brings him a new shirt and tells him to follow again. Follow again? Omo, this place no dey allow peace at all. Back inside the house, Matilda brings food, catfish pepper soup, but something is off. The little girl, Ireti, is already asleep. While Matilda moves around the room, she suddenly notices something strange. Photographs, old pictures of herself when she was much younger. And that's when reality hits. This girl has been trapped in this house for years, isolated from the world, controlled and hidden away. No freedom, no exposure, nothing. Just the Colonel's world. They all sit to eat, but tension is still heavy in the air. The Colonel notices Kumi isn't eating properly. You don't like fish? Kumi quickly forces it. I'm fine. Because honestly, after what he just saw, appetite is gone. Then the Colonel suddenly brings up Kumi's wife. He assumes she died of brain fever too. Kumi corrects him. She died during childbirth. Painful memory. The Colonel responds casually, but now he becomes curious about this brain fever sickness. He keeps asking questions like someone studying a weapon. Kumi explains it's a rare condition, still being researched, and treatment is expensive. That's when the Colonel suddenly changes tone. He says he will help Kumi, not out of kindness, but out of strategy. He offers him land in the south so he can earn money and treat his daughter. But there's a condition. Everything must align within 72 hours. Omo, Kumi pauses. 72 hours? What happens in 72 hours? The Colonel simply replies, history, meaning the coup is about to happen. Then suddenly, the phone rings again. It's Colonel Okoli, and this time, tension increases. Because Okoli has discovered that Bashiru did not deliver the money as instructed. He is furious. What have you done? At the same time, Matilda walks in quietly. She shows Kumi an old teenage photo of herself. And that moment, everything feels even more suspicious. Because now, Kumi is starting to realize nothing in this house is accidental. Everybody is connected. And the truth? It's getting closer.
Omo, this house don't turn into something else entirely. So Kumi continues eating slowly. But everybody knows say na fear they control his appetite. At this point, the Colonel is still watching him like hawk. Then suddenly, the conversation shifts again. This time to Kumi's late wife. The Colonel casually says, "Your wife must be missing you." Kumi calmly replies, "No, she is late." Omo, silence drops. The Colonel even asks, "Did she die of brain fever too?" But Kumi explains, "She died during childbirth. The pain was too much." Then the Colonel says something strange again. "So now you are left with the brain fever." At this point, it becomes obvious. The Colonel is not just asking, he is studying. He wants to understand this sickness deeply. He even asks if there is any cure. Kumi explains it's still being researched. Only experimental drugs exist. And now Kumi opens up emotionally. He needs money to treat his daughter. That's when the Colonel suddenly switches tone. He offers help. He says he has land in the south. Kumi can work on it, earn money, and use it for treatment. But there's a condition. Everything must happen within 72 hours. Omo, Kumi is confused. 72 hours? What happens then? The colonel calmly replies, history, meaning the coup will be completed. Then another call comes in. It's Colonel Okoli again, and this time he is angry. He has discovered that Bashiru did not deliver the money as agreed. The tension rises immediately. Meanwhile, Matilda walks in holding something, a teenage photo of herself. She looks at Kumi and asks softly, "Did you really mean what you said earlier, that I can become a global star?" Kumi reassures her, "Yes, if you want it, you can." And just like that, her mood changes. Hope sparks inside her. But outside that small moment of peace, chaos is still building. Okoli and Bashiru are now fully in conflict. Okoli is furious, demanding the return of the money. But Bashiru refuses. "I am doing all the work. Why should I be paid nothing?" Omo, power struggle don't start. They end the call on a very tense note, almost like enemies already. Back inside the house, Kumi quietly writes down a producer's contact behind Matilda's photo, helping her dream without the colonel knowing. But the colonel notices everything going on and immediately shuts things down. He sends Matilda inside angrily, but she refuses at first. She still wants to talk about music. The colonel snaps. "Your voice is not special. In fact, it irritates me." Omo. He starts insulting everything she believes about herself. Then, out of frustration, he says something shocking. He reveals that even her 4 miscarriages were not natural. He says he personally paid the doctor to ensure they happened. Silence. That statement freezes the entire room. Matilda is shattered. Kumi is speechless. Because now it's clear. This is not just control. This is cruelty on another level. Matilda locks herself in the room, refusing to speak. The colonel tries to follow her, but she won't open the door. And outside, he stands there realizing something dangerous. He may have finally said something that can destroy everything he built. And inside the house, the truth is no longer hiding. Omo, at this point, this man not even dey hide his wickedness again. The colonel continues talking like nothing serious has happened. He even says he already has plenty children outside. So many that he doesn't even know where all of them are. Omo. And yet, in the same breath, he turns around and claims he cares about Matilda. He says he doesn't want her going outside or getting admitted anywhere because of her mental condition. But in reality, it's control, pure manipulation. He carefully packages lies, soft words, and emotional pressure and feeds it into her mind little by little. And sadly, Matilda believes him. She swallows everything. Because she has been isolated for so long, she can no longer tell truth from control. Then suddenly, the colonel switches tone completely. He says something shocking. "I am ready now. I want a child with you." Omo. Silence. That one sentence changes everything. Because now, it's no longer just about control, lies, or isolation. It has turned into something deeper and more disturbing. And in that house full of secrets, guns, coups, and hidden agendas. So the truth is finally out. The real Kumi Braithwaite died 6 months ago. Meaning this man we've been following? He is a complete imposter. Immediately, the colonel hears this. He rushes to the room. But it's too late. Fake Kumi, Don vanish.
He escapes through the window with the girl. And now, the hunt begins. But here's where things get even more interesting. Back in the room, Matilda discovers something written behind her photo. Not a producer's name, but a message. The Colonel's suitcase is the answer to your dreams. Take it and meet me if you want to be free. Omo, this is no longer just a coincidence. This is a plan. Meanwhile, fake Kumi and the girl, whose real name is actually Salome, are already deep in the forest. Yes, even the daughter was part of the setup. Full package. No be small operation. The soldiers begin searching, but Kumi takes them out one by one. Clean, calculated moves. This guy no be ordinary scammer. This one not professional. Back inside the house, Matilda is facing her biggest decision. Stay and continue living like a prisoner, or run and risk everything for freedom. Tick, tock. Time is running. Finally, she makes her move. She takes the 2 briefcases, the same millions meant for the coup, and sneaks out. But just as she's about to escape, "Where do you think you're going?" The Colonel catches her. Omo, tension. He begins to interrogate her, accusing her of betrayal. But this time, Matilda is different. She's no longer scared. When he asks why she did it, she says something powerful. It's not about music, it's about freedom. That line hits deep, because for the first time, she chooses herself. Then suddenly, a sound. The Colonel steps out, only to meet fake Kumi pointing a gun straight at his head. Game over. The Colonel tries to threaten him, saying his men will return soon. But Kumi replies calmly, "They're already dead." Omo. At this point, everything is clear. Kumi explains the whole plan. Chinasa, the house manager the Colonel killed, was the insider. He leaked everything. The money, the timing, the coup. That's how Kumi planned everything and entered the house pretending to be someone else. Simple, clean, deadly. Then he drags the Colonel back into that same torture chamber. Full circle. At the same time, Matilda escapes with the money and meets Salome at the car. Freedom is finally within reach. But wait, another problem. Colonel Okoli arrives. Omo, Wahala full ground again. He enters the house, senses something is wrong, and heads straight to the chamber. Inside, chaos. Gunshots ring out. 2 shots. Silence. And just like that, the movie ends. Now here's the twist. We don't know who died. Did Kumi kill both colonels? Did one of them shoot him back? Or did everything go completely wrong? Nobody knows. The ending is left for you to decide. But one thing is certain. Matilda is finally free. After years of control, lies, and manipulation, she chose freedom. What do you think happened at the end? Who died? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more premium Nollywood movie breakdowns.